This video is on the after repaired value in the home investor tool, on particularly the scrub calculator. When you have an investment property presented to you, the first question you have is how much is it? The very next question, what's it worth fixed up? Then you're going to talk about what needs to be done, how much that's going to cost to make sure what they're asking makes sense. But it's the second question, what's it worth fixed up? That's the after repaired value. Meaning you're going to do a bunch of work for it, you're going to repair it, and this is what it's worth in the after repaired or the ARV. I mean, we're doing a deal here. We're looking to make money. So you want to buy low, sell high. We're talking about the high part. Now, if you're an agent, you're going to run back to your office or grab your computer. You're going to figure out the comps and you're going to start looking to see what they're going on, and you're going to scramble through it to be sure that you've got a deal here and you're thinking about what needs to be done, and there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. Or you reach out to your agent. You're saying, hey, I need a value. And they're saying, hey, I'm busy and I'll get it to you tomorrow. Hey, I'm doing a deal here. I'm trying to get something done. And when they do, they're going to deliver to you a CMA or a comparative market analysis. The CMA looks exactly like this. And the reason, of course, is because this is a CMA. And what it does is, and there's other versions of it, but this one is a pretty basic one that's used pretty repeatedly. This has all of the active properties, all of the non-sold properties, and the sold properties within a 1 mile radius for the last 180 days. And now your job is to come in and find properties that are basically the same, see what they sold for, compare those to the bare bones of the property you want to buy. Remember back in the beginning, the one we're looking at? And now you're here to tell what the top of the market is so you can make a decision where it's going to go in the event that you buy this. Now there's other things to discuss, but what I know is you've just wasted a boatload of time. You've spent a whole lot of time doing analysis. Either if you're an agent, you're going back to your office, or you're waiting on your agent, and then once they get it, maybe you're talking to them. But at the bottom line is you're coming up with what they call to be the ARV, so that you can make a decision to buy it. Okay, I want to be in here. I want to look at it. I want to see if there's a deal to be done and get on down the road if there isn't one. And that's what the Home Investor tool does. Let me show you what I mean by that. With the Home Investor tool, all I have to do is type in this address and hit search. And it will produce for me a splash screen that gives me the basic information about this property. What's the bedroom, bath, footage, and so on. And this is what I call the scrub or the quick equity calculator. What it produces for you is an ARV right up here, okay, that you can kind of manipulate. And this is based on genuine comps. And let me show you exactly what I mean. On the general tab, or when you go to details, you look to see this ARV, and what this produces is a whole series of events that's happened for you behind the scenes, showing you the comps, showing you, and I limited this to 3/4 of a mile, and ended up with these comps that provided me with the value. You're free to look at them. You can look around at them. You can mess around and look at other comps. But at the end of the day, I've saved that to hit. And then I go back to my simple view and I figure, all right, here I've got a baseline by which I can start and I can move it up. Now, this is a pretty robust market. So maybe I'm thinking I might be able to bring this in even a little higher than what the ARV is stated. And let's say, for instance, I think there's just cosmetic repairs and there's no roof. The roof's fine, the heating and air is fine, the foundation's fine. There's nothing extraneous to this property other than it needs cosmetic updates. I know my ARV is 340. If I want a 70% ARV, less repairs, my bid should be somewhere in the neighborhood of 195,000. Now that happened for you instantly. You got to the bottom line with very little manipulation, and you're free to move this where you want to. We moved it 15 points aside so that you can pick a point that makes sense to you relative to the zip code, relative to your gut instinct based on the other comps. But at the end of the day, you've made that decision. You've cut through all this stuff, got to a decision point to see if there's a possible deal here. Now you can get to repairs, you can get to the rest of it, and there's no question. There's a lot of detail that you have to go through. But let's get to the bottom line on some of the core issues, see if there's a deal, and if there's not, let's stop wasting time. Now, when you save this to hit, you go to details, and we save that in our general notes tab so that you have a record of what your understanding is, and so that when you make a run at this property, you understand exactly where you were coming from, and then you can move on, or you can close at a number that makes sense for you. That's what the HIT Home Investor Tool does. That's what we hope to achieve. And it's an ARV that you can live with. That's help that we try to support. And by the way, we've got a CMA right here. You're free to open it up and use that all you want. There's solds, there's pendings, there's all the things, the very same comps. If you want to use this, it's available. You can print it. You can do the whole deal. So listen, thanks for watching this today. I know that this stuff gets a little bit high, technical, and tends to be, somehow, overwhelming in that way. But we're talking about making investments here. And it's got to be numbers driven. The question is, can we deliver those numbers to you in such a way to save time, okay, give you the baseline by which you can work? That doesn't mean you're not going to have to do things here. You're absolutely. But let's get to it. What are they asking? What's it worth fixed up? And then we can show you in another tape how we analyze repairs. Thank you very much. I appreciate you watching today.